I'm delighted to say I'm joined by the master, Jonny Clayton. Thanks for the time, Jonny. How you doing?
I'm very good, thanks. Enjoying my time off, but yeah, very good.
Good to hear. Well, let's start off with, this is the first time that we've had you on the show in almost 3 years to the day. We chatted to you just after you won your first Euro tour in Austria. The most important question to start with is, do you still have the green jacket?
I do. It's in my wardrobe. I need to get it framed, but I haven't done it yet, so I still have it. Don't fit me, but I still have it.
Excellent. When you look back on what you've gone on to achieve in the 3 years since the World Cup, the Masters, you're now in the Premier League, was that win in Austria a pivotal moment? Because I remember you said it gave you a lot of self-belief that weekend.
Yeah, I suppose, to win anything on the PDC, gives you massive confidence, because the standard of the dart players there, it's phenomenal. So to win anything, but to win my first European, that was brilliant, and it did give me some confidence, So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And winning that Euro Tour, that opened a lot of doors for you. Debuts in the World Match Play, the World Grand Prix that year. How did you find that transition of becoming more of a regular in the TV events?
Well, as a player, obviously that's what you want, but it was all new to me, and it was nerve-wracking, to be honest, and I suppose it's, to every player, it's the first time in the big TV tournaments, and I was obviously nervous, but really enjoyed it.
We fast forward to last year, 2020. You made a great start to the year. You beat Michael van Gerwen in the Masters semi-finals, the UK Open, the 9-darter on stage 2 that weekend, and not long after the pandemic hits us. How was the 4-month break with no darts tournaments to go to?
It's difficult, I started off, like you said, I had a good start, and, the confidence is high, obviously, and, everything was feeling good. And all of a sudden, everything came to a stop because of the pandemic, and it knocked us all, really, but it just knocked me off track a bit, and, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. We were all in the same boat kind of thing, so, I just had to put my head down on the practice board and carry on behind closed doors, if that makes any sense,
Yeah, definitely, and you've certainly got back on track. We've seen that one of the events that we would usually see during those 4 months that we had off was the World Cup in June. It gets pushed back to November. Defending champions Gary Anderson, Peter Wright, they withdraw from the event. You and Gerwyn Price, the second seed, you'll have fancied your chances anyway, but when you see those two go out, how were you two feeling heading into that weekend?
Yeah, obviously, well, we played Scotland, John Henderson and Rob Thornton, but, we were feeling good, and our doubles games were brilliant, me and Gerwyn, and it paid off for us. We were second favourites, like you said, and it was just, we bounced off each other. The previous 2 years, didn't go too well, but listen, to win that trophy was one hell of a feeling. First time for Wales, obviously, and to be a part of that was brilliant.
A great moment, and I was just looking at your averages before I called you up, and on that final day on the Sunday you had a 99, 98 in the doubles, 104, 105, 103 in the doubles in the final, and that's the first time that we've seen a 100 plus average in a pairs match in the final with a PDC World Cup. What do you remember most from that final day winning the trophy?
Well, I'm not massive into stats, to be honest, right? So that was nice to hear, yeah. But the thing I remember most was Gerwyn Price trying to break my ribs, I think, when he picked me up. But no, when he hit that double top to win, it was absolutely, it was class. It was brilliant. What a feeling, to win that and to get our faces up on the side screen with everybody else. Brilliant. What a feeling.
Definitely. Well, we finish off 2020 with the World Championship at Ali Pali. Unfortunately, as with most events during the year without the crowd, you and Joe Cullen served up a thriller in the third round, and Joe takes out that 100 with the two tops in the decider. Some great sportsmanship on show from both of you at the end, but did you feel like that was a chance to go on a deep run?
In a way, yes, but in another way, I'm big friends with Joe Cullen, one of my best mates on tour. And I knew I was in for one hell of a game, because I knew Joe was playing well, and I was throwing well. So maybe there was a chance. I'm a massive believer. If it's not to be, it's not to be. And Joe taking those two double tops, killed me. I was thinking, Joe, I'm supposed to be a friend. You shouldn't be doing that to me. But no, brilliant for him. And I thought I would have had a chance to go a little bit further. So. Listen, it is what it is, and that's how I see darts.
Well, it was to be for you in the next tournament, the Masters. You beat Jose de Souza, Michael van Gerwen, James Wade, Peter Wright, all in last leg deciders to get to the final. Just how did you hold it all together when the referee's saying final leg, game on?
I don't know, to be honest. I think I needed the practice. That's why you went to the last legs. But no, you just got to concentrate. You've got to concentrate and not pressure yourself, if that makes any sense. If you miss that treble, you've got to forget about it quick and, try and hit it the next visit, So, yeah, it was a brilliant feeling. I'd had a very difficult run on my side of the board and, to pick up that trophy on the end was phenomenal,
Yeah, you get past Mervyn King in the final to become the master and with it a spot in the Premier League as well. Looking back on that weekend, we spoke earlier about your first European tour. You took a lot of self-belief from that. So what did you take away from winning the Masters?
Confidence is flying then, it's another level, people say when you win your first one, it seems to not get easier, but you seem to go into games with a different mindset, as if that not the game gets any easier, but you're more relaxed, you're more confident in the way you throw and stuff, and that's what I think has happened to me. I've had my first master, I have my first major, under my belt, and I play now with confidence. I play, like I can play that, so. I'm enjoying it, and that's that,
And it's fair to say that you've settled in pretty well to the Premier League. You mentioned you're not one for stats, so you'll enjoy this one. The 105 average that you had on your debut, the highest by a player making their full Premier League debut. You're fifth in the table after the first 9 nights, the 9 darter as well. How have you found it so far?
I've enjoyed every moment of it, There's been some great games of darts there, I think as debutants, I think we've all done pretty well, and, we're putting pressure on the big guns. So, to be honest, I'm really, really enjoying it. I think it's fast. I'm a little bit disappointed that there's no crowd, because I would have liked to have experienced, the massive crowds, but at the end of the day, I'm in the Premier League and I'll take that every day, so I'm really enjoying my time there.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. You touched on the other debutants along with yourself. You've got Dimitri and Jose in there, and we're hoping we're going to get some crowd for towards the end of the Premier League, but usually we've got the different venues around the country, around Europe. Of course, you played in one last year in Cardiff. Does it still feel like the Premier League because you're still playing the top players, or is the lack of the big crowds something that you're missing?
Oh no, it's definitely still the Premier League. It's the crowd is just a plus. You're playing against the elite, really. 10 players there who have thoroughly, who have earned their spot. That's what I'm trying to say. Who are, to get into that Premier League, you have to do something special, and every one of us have. So to be a part of that 10 of the elite players is, it's mind blowing.
And when we're talking on this Tuesday morning, we've got the last day of the Super Series in Germany gets underway in a few hours. You decided to skip the events. We were trying to work out the last Players' Championship you'd missed, because you don't often miss the events, but have you been following the results still?
I do look at the results, to be honest. I like to nose to see who's doing well, who's not, kind of thing. But no, it's my first, and I think it's my 6th year in darts, and I think it's my first block of tournaments that I've missed. So I've not missed any. So, I think I needed a holiday. So I left this one out.
Well, we've got some questions from our listeners and also some from the team at Red Dragon. Lee says, Jonny is such a top bloke. You can ask him anything. He's in a very good place at the moment. Always loves a chat about rugby. Was a very good scrum half in his day. So talk us through your rugby. How high up did you play? How long for? What memories stick out?
I loved my rugby. I only played the 2nd division, so you had our regions, our championship, and then you had Division 1, 2. So I only played up to Division 2. It was just a village side that we really, really enjoyed. It was a Saturday with all our friends, kind of thing, and I loved my rugby. I helped Command and Quins and Aberafon out, who were in the championship at the time. So. I done all right, but Division 2 was the highest I got to, really, as in consistent rugby. But yeah, I loved it. I loved every second of it, And then after I broke my knee for the 3rd time, I thought, that's time to give rugby up, and I started seriously on darts. So that was that,
Simon from Red Dragon, he mentioned that Jonny was a great player for a decade before anyone knew him. So go deep on darts in Wales and international stuff. I mean, before Q School 2015, you played the BDO a little bit. You won the WDF Europe Cup team as well. So what was it like during that time?
In the beginning, it was like darts to me is just a massive hobby. You know, it still is a hobby. I don't find it as a day-to-day job because I enjoy it as my hobby. I still work. So, but when I was younger, I was training rugby on a Tuesday and a Thursday night. So every Thursday it was the local darts league. So we decided to join that. It was just for a few beers in the beginning, like with friends. You know, it was just a bit of fun. But as my time went on, I started to play pretty good. So one of the guys, his name was Wayne Evans, and Wayne asked me to come and play Super League, and then maybe into our county side. So that's what I done, and within a year I got my Welsh cap. So my darts came pretty quick from finishing rugby, and so, I enjoyed my time in the BDO. I made a lot of good friends in the BDO system, but it was time to give it the next step, give it go on the next step. And I think I made the right step by joining the PDC, because my darts have gone, 10 times better now. So I think I made the right decision.
Absolutely. And just touching on Q School as well, I was looking back at your results from those 4 days, a couple of last 64s in the first 3 days. What can you recall from that fourth and final day? Because looking at the results, you had, I think, 3 last leg deciders you won on the way to getting that tour card outright.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it, but I do remember, that last day, the final day. I think, if I remember right, if I got to a semi-final, I would have had a card for the PDC. But I don't remember correctly, but I think it was only a 1-year card at the time. But at the last day, I beat Andy Burton in the final, and for me, great. It was a start of a big journey, and I've enjoyed every step of it.
Definitely. Well, you mentioned you're still working as well. A question from Jamie. He says Jonny's one of the few top players who still has a full-time job. Does his plastering work keep him fit, and how does he fit the practice sessions around the work?
It keeps, to be honest, my plastering work, it obviously keeps me fit because, we're working every day, but it keeps my mind off darts, and I like that part of it as well. It's like I go to work and I think of work, and then I practice. Late at night I practice. I come home, I have my supper with the family, and I'll go on the dartboard then around 9 o'clock for a couple of hours because my wife watches rubbish on TV, and I come in and play darts, and that's how I do it. That's how I've always done it. So, I've not changed anything like that, but my practice is late at night.
Well, sticking with the plastering, Dart Horse says I've got a hairline crack over a door about a foot in length. Are any of the paint on products worth a try, or do I need to spot plaster the area with a mesh tape to get rid of it long term?
Well, if it's a hairline crack, you can use a fine filler from B&Q and give it a coat of paint, and it should do the trick. If it's any bigger than a hairline crack, you need to get a plaster in.
There we go. Well, a few more before we let you go. Carl Reddin says you seem to play your best darts against Michael van Gerwen. Was it at the Masters 2020, the 10-6 win, that really made you sit up and believe that you could beat anyone on the big stage, and that led to the unbelievable year that you had last year?
Yes, I think beating Michael, once you beat the world number one, that was a massive thing in my book. It was a massive tick in the box, and I've beaten. I look around sometimes and I think, right, I've beaten him. I've not beaten him. When you look in the practice room, and Darryl Gurney, I can't get over the line against Darryl Gurney for the life of me. But everybody else I've seemed to have beaten. So yeah, I'm playing well, and once you play well, you put pressure on the big guns, and that's what you try and do, and concentrate on your own game.
George Dobson says, would Jonny beat Gerwyn Price in an arm wrestle?
Well, I would not put any money on that, because I think Gerwyn Price's arm is bigger than my leg, so I'm going to give that one a miss. I wouldn't even try.
Fair enough. And lastly, Rachel Gallagher asks, what makes you proud to be Welsh?
It's a proud Welshman. I am a massively proud Welshman. It's all to do with sport, and I love, I speak the Welsh language fluently, so, I am a very, very proud Welshman. I support everything in Wales, and, it's just the way we are, it's mostly to do with sport and stuff, but yeah, I'm a very, very proud Welshman.
Definitely comes through. Well, Jonny, it's a pleasure to chat to you. Appreciate the time. Congratulations on the year that you're having so far in your first Premier League season. Wish you all the best when it gets going again soon.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time.